All right, ladies and gentlemen, King JB back once again for the MMA Kingdom. It's a new day. Obviously, last night was a huge event. I got to talk about some things, man, because I am so sick of you internet fucks. And so let's go ahead and get into this, man. I've been watching y'all Nick Diaz nut huggers just complain and complain and talk shit and talk shit. How can Carlos Condit win when he was running the whole fight? First of all, it's called strategy. Nick Diaz was the aggressor, I'll give you that. But every single time Condit was going backwards, he was countering. Did you see Nick Diaz's face? Nick Diaz had cuts everywhere. He was fucked up. So you guys acting like Carlos Condit just ran the whole time and didn't fight, you're out of your fucking mind. Nick Diaz was fucked up. Nick Diaz did his little crybaby. I'm going to retire, blah, blah, blah. I'm so tired of hearing that dude cry and whine, and he's a victim. Nick Diaz is not a victim. I'm so tired of people acting like he is. He's very wealthy. He's been treated well. He has a better life than most of us, and he still talks shit and complains. I'm not a Nick Diaz fan. Obviously. I know a lot of people are surprised at that. A lot of people say, well, JB, you kind of have a Nick Diaz type attitude. We're surprised that, you don't love Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz, just because we're both urban and streetish type of motherfuckers, does not mean I like him. Nick Diaz is very unprofessional, and he's bad for the sport, period. You know what I'm saying? You have to do press conferences. You have to do that shit. And Nick Diaz, listen, I'm okay with people smoking weed. But when it takes away from your progress, when you care about it more than, I'm not a big Nick Diaz guy. I don't think he's worth the hype. His UFC record is subpar, and it's just the bottom line. Now, when it comes to Nick Diaz last night in this fight, listen, MMA fans, Carlos Condit at least won 3 rounds. It could have easily, maybe even 4. Yes, I understand Diaz controlled the pace of the fight. But in terms of damage, in terms of strikes, Carlos Condit outstruck Nick Diaz the whole fight. How anyone could deny that is fucking insane. I understand we all have people that we like, okay? But when Rampage lost to Rashad, I didn't argue that. I'm a Rampage guy. Why? Because the truth of the matter is he did lose the decision to Rashad, and he deserved to lose it. Now, Nick Diaz deserved to lose this decision. I don't care how bad you guys want to see Diaz and GSP. I don't care how bad you want to hear the success story of Nick Diaz becoming a world champion in the UFC. We could say that about a lot of people. I'm fat. I would like to see Roy Nelson as the heavyweight champion of the world because of the success story. It would make me feel like us fat people can do that. But it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. And I can't sit here and make excuses because it does not happen. Yes, I'm urban, and yes, part of me does have a small part that says, Nick Diaz, he's doing the things how he wants to do it. It would be cool. But at the same time, this isn't about what's cool. This isn't about personal, feelings. This is about MMA and what's the truth. Nick Diaz is not the number 1 welterweight in the world. He's not even the number 2 now. It's very simply GSP, Carlos Condit. You cannot, no matter how much you guys complain, you can't change that. And Nick Diaz, he lost. He cried like a little bitch. He's saying he's retiring. I'm tired. These fighters, including Rampage, I love Rampage, but these fighters that continuously try to hold shit hostage and say, I'm going to retire, man, MMA is bad to me, I'm tired of this shit. Listen, MMA has been very good to all these motherfuckers, including Nick Diaz. Nobody gives a shit. Nick Diaz wants to whine and cry because he thinks people are going to be like, oh, he thinks Dana White and Joe Silva's going to be like, oh, we don't want him to retire, so we'll give him what he wants. Nick Diaz doesn't deserve shit. I say put Nick Diaz, Josh Koscheck in the same cage. Koscheck will beat him. He'll wrestle him to death and beat him, and then everybody will forget about fucking Nick Diaz. Just the bottom line, man. I understand you guys are fans of people. I understand you guys really wanted to see Nick Diaz and GSP, but just fucking face it. You know what I'm saying? Carlos Condit was better. I predicted Carlos Condit being the champ 4 months ago when he was on my show. And I was right. Carlos Condit is a true mixed martial artist, and so is Nick Diaz. I'm not saying he's not. But you just got to face it, man. You cannot cry and complain every single time your favorite fighter loses. And not everything's a conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? Take your lumps. Nick Diaz lost the fucking fight. And he lost it fair. You know, why ain't you guys blaming Nick Diaz? And saying, okay, why did you leave it in the hands of the judges? And it's not like it was a close decision. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Carlos Condit fucked him up. Did you see his face? Cuts everywhere, all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? People are like, and I heard some of the excuses, well, he's got scar tissue. Carlos Condit didn't do that. Bullshit. He didn't look like that before the fight. Carlos Condit fucked him up. Period. Quit bullshitting yourselves. Nick Diaz lost the fight. I'm sorry for ranting like this, but you motherfuckers tripped me out with that. You know, I'm fucking tired. By the way, Renan Barrio does have the best record in MMA, period. And he deserves a title shot at the winner of Cruz Faber, period. If you don't agree with that, you're a fucking idiot. He's what now, 4-0 in the UFC? And he's what, 30-1? Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? So now, anyway, bottom line, you fucking crybabies, kiss my ass. I'm tired of hearing the shit. He lost. Deal with it. Fucking crybaby pussy motherfuckers. King JB, MMA Kingdom, MMA Affiliates Radio. Stop your bitching.